Hello and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. In the last episode, we found out that Rhoda might be hiding something important from us, but she's gone for the time being. So now we have another flight attendant, Cammy Meal, assisting us in the gift shop investigation. So let's head over there now. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then. Hold on, you can't clean up a potential crime scene. Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much. I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There is a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit. Alright, let me look at our logic to see what we have. Oh, just two things. Broken glasses from the last time, and then the one we just got about the murder weapon. Right. Let's see, I'll start over here. The glass from this display case's door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat. There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip. Okay, and how about you buy something for me then, as a present? She is so shameless. I wouldn't necessarily want to be like her, but I would like to have a little bit more of whatever personality trait it takes to just straight up ask a stranger to buy you something. I can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. Oh, don't consider it, jeez. What are these? Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world you try, then buy. No way. But either way, it doesn't really matter. True. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane? Oh, good point. I didn't even think about that. I just thought they were really ugly. Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Mr. iFly heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you? It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach. That is trippy. Huh? Oh, I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. You look like you really wanted to get one. I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? But I never showed any interest in it to begin with. It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda. Miss Tenero designed this? Yeah, it was a company-wide contest. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Ha, sharp? Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so... ugh. Miss Tenero designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. Ah! You okay?
I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Mule. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation.
Oh, that's a piece of logic too. Here, I'll put it back. Right, that's it for this wall up here.
Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale.
We sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. Some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. There are all kinds of luxury name brand merchandise for sale in this display case. And they're lined up in just such a manner as to scream "buy me" to any passersby.
Right next to the life preservers. It's kind of a weird lineup.
Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Mule is holding, are on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed.
Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that?
Like, I kind of want to be her in terms of her personality and just being totally shameless, but she would be the worst coworker to have. Oh man, I would be so mad. I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever.
So what do you think about what has happened regarding this case?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I think you're the killer though, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can assure you that I'm here in this shop just to prove the opposite.
She just went a cousin in for a second there, did you see that? Yeah, but it was me that got you permission to look around, you know. So don't forget that, okay? And there she goes again.
How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep?
Well, you know what really show your thanks? You see that item for sale over there?
Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation.
Right. Is there anything we can show her? Start with the badge. Ooh, I'd love to have this piece of jewelry. Can I have it?
No, you may not. This is a prosecutor's badge.
Hooey, then why did you show it to me?
I wanted to prove to you that I really am a prosecutor. And that it's not possible for a prosecutor like me to commit such a crime as...
If you think about it, there's actually zero logic in that statement. Like, being a prosecutor doesn't automatically make you not a criminal, but that's okay. We'll leave him alone. And there she goes again.
I see that I'm just wasting my time with Cousin Hare here.
Cousin is probably a copyrighted name, huh? Maybe we'll show her the piggy bank because we are in a shop. Ms. Rhoda said that this piggy bank was in this shop, right? Don't you find her a tiny bit suspicious?
I don't think I can say either way yet. There's not enough evidence to convince me that she was lying about anything back there.
Are you sure about that? Is it worth showing her anything else? That's for pretty straightforward statements. I don't think we'll get anything interesting out of that. Maybe about the murder? So what is that? Are you going to give it to me? Oh, but I'm not supposed to accept any presents. Unless they're really worth something. I guess that's her generic response for she doesn't have anything to say. Okay. So I think that is everything for things we can investigate. So now it's either logic or finding places to present evidence against.
Suitcase is designed by Miss Tenero. That's one sharp design.
Oh, that's the same thing. Okay, so let's look at logic. Broken glasses, suitcase, murder weapon, and tiny captain's hat. Well, we can see from Cammy's stuffed animal that Mr. iFly is supposed to have a hat. So let's take a look at this.
The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see.
Oh, look how cute that is.
I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it?
Okay. Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop.
Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So, come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed.
Alright, so let's go ahead and do that here.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Is this the same man as the one portrayed by the statues around the elevator?
That's a man? Wait, I thought that was like a piece of glass or coral or something in the upper left there. The things below it are... anyway. Yeah, that's a paperweight of the founder of iFly Airlines, Mr. Hugo iFly. On the bottom shelf we have the cute one, the middle shelf is the realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's the floral version. The exploded version, maybe.
Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess. You just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like I hit the bullseye.
So I think that takes care of these three things.
The glass on this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank? But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly.
Ah!
What is it?
I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts.
Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own.
Oh, this is the same. Oops. I thought the books down there might be something different.
There's nothing of interest here.
Oh, that was easy. Okay, so the only thing we have to do is deduce. Wait, I didn't mean to pick that spot just yet. But let's look at the evidence anyway. Can't be this or this. Oh, we haven't done this yet.
There's some blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon?
We knew that much. Oops. Oh, there we go.
The hat on its head was found inside a display case in an in-flight shop. I wonder if that fact has any bearing on this case.
Well, it kind of has to be this. This is the only thing that's in any way connected to this display case, but... Oh, let's see. The piggy bank was taken out of this case, but the hat was left in there. So, like, someone broke the glass or punched through it or whatever and took out the bank, but... They said that the glass was mostly on the outside and not the inside, which is backwards. How exactly is that related? I mean, there's obviously something wrong with that, but... Let's see what this says again. Yeah, this is the piece that's weird. Okay, let's get through the rest of this. I guess I'll just present the piggy bank because something is wrong.
There's definitely something very unusual about this.
About what?
If the killer had broken a glass to get at the Mr. I-Fly bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself.
Ooh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that.
However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case.
Nope. No, there isn't.
Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor.
I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too.
Yeah? That's nice.
Which leads me to believe that the killer took Mr. I-Fly from here after the turbulence.
Okay, so we know that something is up with the turbulence because we now know that that was what made the bank fall out. We also know that the suitcase rolled around because of the turbulence, and then we had the turbulence itself as logic too.
Take your power naps on your own time, Ms. Meal, and listen when I'm talking.
Ah.
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon.
So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake?
Yes, at this point that is a very real possibility.
But then what if when the killer went to take Mr. I-Fly, he broke the glass by accident?
The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, there's one person who could have. Oh no, here it comes.
Oh, and who would that be?
Ms. Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything.
Ms. Rhoda Tenero, huh?
Like I was saying earlier, these two are... Oops, no, the turbulence in the suitcase are probably something.
Yes, there's definitely something wrong here.
What's with the sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Mule, don't you think that there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure. They totally ooze strange, like the color and the such.
That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
Ah, you're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? But I guess they take after their creator.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Mule. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind. I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. Whoops. What's wrong?
She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I've spotted something that's not quite right. What is so unusual about this suitcase?
I think it's what I said earlier. You can see more clearly now that these are like wedge stops for the wheels, but they are not on this suitcase.
There's something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh? As in,
there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying.
and?
And so, it is very likely that the suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we?
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out what animal Mr. iFly is. Like when it was a stuffed animal in Cammy's arms, I kind of thought it was a cat, but now it looks like a bad like raccoon panda. I don't know. It's kind of scary. They look like skulls or ghosts or something. Trying to imagine buying this for like your 5-year-old daughter or something like that. It's terrible. But whoa!
A $1,200 price tag. Not exactly priced by someone with a conscience, I'd say.
Let's see. Oh, we should be looking at the wheels, huh? Should probably zoom out. I know, not the wheels.
This was apparently designed by Ms. Tenera herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it.
That strategy works, being as vague as possible so that you're not lying.
It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
Ah, it's blood.
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all.
Investigation complete. So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps?
Aren't you just talking about the cloth then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is
The only bloody and large thing we have in our evidence, which is this poor man.
something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood.
Actually, that would have to be a really big suitcase. I mean, that is a full-grown adult. So that's kind of strange, but that's what we're going with.
Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it?
Two pieces of evidence.
In light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from somewhere else. Which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it?
Exactly. What is it?
Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, and here she comes. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat.
I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course.
If that's your only condition, I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together.
I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge. And I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Mule reminded me about Miss Ternero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light.
Okay. That is the end of our episode. So next time, it looks like we will be looking a little bit more into what Rhoda Ternero was doing at the time of the murder and why she was doing whatever she did. Please look forward to it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.